Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome. Today we'll be exploring the latest DLC in the Panzer Corps 2 series from Slitherine. Now if you're not familiar with Panzer Corps 2, it's a massive World War II tactical / operational level turn-based wargame, famous for its dynamic campaigns where you carry a core set of units from scenario to scenario, gaining experience with them and leveling up with them as you go along. Now this latest DLC, Cyrenaica, is one of two self-contained Frontlines DLCs that focus on specific campaigns rather than the broader emphasis of the main game and DLCs. In this DLC, you can play as either the Italians or the British in 12 unique scenario campaigns set in North Africa in 1940. To get a sense for gameplay, let's jump right in and start the first scenario in the British campaign from the British side. Let's get started with this campaign. To do this, we're going to pick New Game, and we're going to select Campaign right down here on the bottom. We can see the main campaigns at the top, and we can see these Frontlines DLCs, which are more contained, smaller scale kind of operations. We're going to pick Cyrenaica, of course. I'm going to change the difficulty. It's behind my head, a little bit difficult to see. I'm going to pick the middle one, which is kind of my current level, I think, of where I am in terms of game skill. I'm probably a intermediate level player at this point. We got two options once we pick the Cyrenaica campaign. We could play Operation E as the Italians, but we're going to play as the British, and this will start us out in September of 1940 on the defensive with the Italians pushing up against us. So let's accept that, and we're going to proceed. Now we'll get a little, I think, walkthrough. Oh, right. First up, another way, if you're not familiar with the Panzer Corps 2 series, at the beginning of every campaign, you get to pick these modifiers, and you have two. It says two selections, but really what it means is two selection points. I'm going to pick. There's one here that I like, Battle Academy, which is a 25% experience growth rate, so your units get more experience faster. This is particularly helpful if you're going deeper in the campaign. Now, there are negative traits on the right-hand side, so if we picked negative strength, for example, no overstrength units, you can basically increase the strengths of some units to beyond their regular capacity. That would free up 2 more points. We could pick another positive, and we could go back and forth like this however we want. So the point here is that these campaigns are infinitely customizable in terms of difficulty settings and these different command selections that you can make. But we're just going to do this one, Battle Academy, use both our points for that, and we will hit accept. Now we're getting tossed into the scenario briefing. So here's the map for the first scenario. We can see our British forces down here in the desert. It's September 13th, and we are expecting an imminent Italian offensive from Libya into Egypt. The Italian forces will be coming from Bardia up here, where they have an air base, in Sidi Aziz, and be attacking our positions in Egypt along this kind of west to east. I think east is at the bottom of the map here for the most part. But they're coming. And now, so what do we have to do? To win the scenario, we have to defend and hold Fort Capuzzo and Sollum for 16 turns. That's the length of this entire scenario. So that's our number one objective. There are some bonus objectives, though. The missions, if we can hold Musaid up here for 12 turns, we'll get a bonus mission, some bonus experience or some kind of a reward for that. And then also there are 3 Italian units that have been fragmented from their main forces that are scattered somewhere in the desert. And if we can eliminate those, we get 250 prestige points for each one of those units we eliminate. That would be very helpful in this phase. Up at the very top of the screen, you can see that we have 2,550 prestige points. And this is basically our currency. And for this scenario, because we're going to be taking a beating during the scenario, it's going to be helpful for us. We're probably going to need to spend prestige to build our units back up to full strength if we're going to hold our positions, which means that any bit of prestige we can gain is going to be helpful. So I'd love to be able to find at least 1 or 2 of those Italian units in the desert that are lost and wipe them out to get that extra experience. That would be helpful for keeping our units up to full strength. With that in mind, we have a couple of things to do now. One is we want to assign our heroes. We got 2 heroes to assign, and they were both exactly identical, which is unusual, I think. So we're going to pick, we've got an armored unit here. There's our tanks down here. Right down here we can see we've got this unit here, which is our Vickers Mark II tank. Let's assign our hero to that. One of them is, both of these are combat luck, and this means that combat results can never be worse than predicted. This is helpful because when you get an estimate of how combat's going to turn out, it can turn out worse than what you predicted. However, if Albert Morgan is with your unit, you will never have results that are worse than predicted. So I want to put him on one of our armored units. We'll put him there. And then we have the second hero is the same thing. Let's do likewise, except I think what we're going to do is pick one of our fighter pilots here. So we've got a Gladiator Mark II. Let's assign Kenneth Austin to that. So he will never be worse than average. That's excellent. Now, the other thing I want to do is I kind of want to think about what the Italians might do, and I want to move some of our units around, but we also can upgrade some units. And for example, we have these biplanes we can see in the bottom left-hand corner. If I click the upgrade button for this, these look like remnants from World War I, and we have this nice Hurricane Mark I here. Now, this will cost us 50 prestige and also an extra slot. And in the game, you have a certain number of slots that you can fill up with core units. We can see at the top, we have 40 slots, and we have used 34 of them. If we upgrade to this Mark I, it will require an extra slot's worth of space, but I think it's worth it, so we're going to upgrade that to that, and let's do the same thing for our other Gladiator. Let's bring our planes up to World War II level. And we have a bomber here, too. I think we want to do that as well. Let's go from this Bristol Blenheim. Is this Wellington better? Yeah, it's just better all around. It's going to cost us 50, but it's just a better plane. So let's upgrade to that Wellington. Good. I'm going to check some of our other units and upgrade some of those. And also, I noticed if we look here, for example, at this infantry in the top, and we click on this to upgrade it, we'll notice that down here it has a big red X for transport in the bottom left-hand corner. So we want to upgrade these to Bren carriers to make them more mobile. That will also cost us a slot. So we're quickly running out of slots here. But I think this is a good expenditure for our slots and for our prestige because I want to be mobile on defense here. Lastly, I think this tank, this Vickers Light Tank Mark II, I think we can upgrade it to the Mark VI. All around better tank. It'll cost us only 30 prestige, which is, I think, a bargain. So let's do this. We're going to upgrade to the Mark VI from the Mark II. That's good. And I'll go through and give some more transport to our infantry, make a couple more upgrades, and then move a few troops around, and then we'll be able to get started. Alrighty, I think we are ready. I moved a few units, like I moved our tanks that were way down here between Sollum and Fort Capuzzo up to this outpost closer to our front lines. Pushed a few other units around. There was a fighter that was air-based in Sollum, but I want them closer to Musaid, so I moved the airbase up here for this. And I think with all that in mind, we are ready to begin. So the Italians are going to go first. I think they're going to come right at us, I imagine, if they're on the offensive here. So we should see some attacks soon. I'm curious. I'm not the best defensive player at this game, so let's see how things go. Oh, here they come. Aircraft too. Oh, they're hitting our... Oof, that hurts. And they get fighter support too, so we got to see if we can take that down. And that's it. So, okay, so they've got units pouring down here. We can see up here at the front, we've got some Italian infantry coming down the road to El Tafud. We've got airstrikes on our artillery, and we've got some armored cars here pushing up as their advanced scouting elements, so they are on the move. I imagine we're going to see a lot of stuff floating to us, but I think the first thing we want to do really is to try to hit this aircraft attack. So 2 out of 4, that's good. Is this the one with the hero? It is. This is our 15th Hurricane Force. Let's pull them up here and start chopping up these aircraft if we can. Good. That weakens them a little bit. Let's do likewise the same thing. Get our second fighter group in here. Hit them. Good. Oh, we just missed taking them out. We got them down to 1 strength point. I don't know if there's a way we can get them weaker than that, but we'll take it for now. Okay, so what else do we want to do? Our Hurricanes chop them up pretty nicely, actually. Now, we do not want to move this infantry. It's entrenched 3 out of 8 right now, but I'm all up for giving up El Tafud if we need to it. In the meantime, though, can we... Ooh, wow, look at that. That tank against that, we would lose 3. If you're not familiar with the game, by the way, what I'm looking at is I'm clicking on our units to move them. If we attacked in this situation on that unit to the left there, we would suffer 3 strength point losses and they would suffer 1. So that's a bad attack for us. But we do have this artillery that can start to weaken them a little bit. Let's fire. Excellent. Okay, so that weakens them a little bit. Does that help? 2 to 1. Not that much better. What else could we do? How about this unit? 2 to 1 still. It's not the greatest situation for us here. 1 to 1. We could take that, but we have a little bit more fun we can do because we have our tactical bomber here that we upgraded, the Wellington Mark 1C. Yeah, let's put a hurt on this now. Let's see if we can make this guy pay. What? Okay, 1 to 1. So it didn't quite work out as we intended, but still, that's good. That should give us, I think, a little bit more of an interior. Let's bring up our armor. I want to hit them as hard. Even though we're defending, I want to attack here. Hopefully that'll turn out. Nice! Down to 7. This is perfect. Now let's bring our armor over here. Still 1 to 1. Wow, that's not very good. How about you? 1 to 1. That's not the best odds here either. 7 to 4 up there if we go after their infantry. That's not good at all. I'm going to think for a second. Yeah, this might be a mistake, but I want to be aggressive here. We're going to pull this unit around to the other side. I want to see if we can surround this. And let's bring all of our troops up here. And we're going to attack, massing our forces here. This might be a horrific mistake, but we'll see how it goes. Because I think they're going to pour down here into Musaid. We might be in trouble already. But let's see how this works out. Okay, so 1 to 1, mass attack. Attacking. Okay, that was what happened. 1 to 1. Let's keep going. 1 to 1. Let's keep hammering them. Excellent. Forced them to retreat. Can we wipe? We can't wipe them out, though, I don't think. Ah, we drive them into the desert. Oh, we have this guy over here, though. Can you finish him off? Probably not. So close, unless we get lucky. Ah, we didn't. He just escaped. Dastardly. Just got away from us, too. And we have nothing left we could attack with unless we want to abandon the outpost to do so. Actually, I'm going to do it. Yeah, because I'm not really too concerned about holding this outpost. Let's see if we can finish that unit off. Good. Racked up our first kill, and we can move our recon back into the outpost here. Okay, so we chopped up the lead elements nicely. We don't know where any of these mystery units are, however. Want to get this unit in the desert over here into the Sollum barracks. And we've got an anti-tank unit. They're going to move back to this airbase to dig in there. So we can start digging in. And we've got our units dug in our final 2 destinations. I would have liked to have spent some aircraft scouting around here, or some of our armored cars, to see if we could find some of those hidden units that are hiding somewhere in the desert. But other than that, I think that turn went relatively okay. It's nice to knock out a lead element right away, too. Make them pay. That fighter pilot left and the bomber left. Good. Now let's see what's coming at us here. Uh-oh. Another fighter unit. Pounding our artillery, too. Oh, excellent. They brought... Whoops. It's going to scatter around first. Let's let them finish their stuff here. Wow, they're coming in force now. Oof, that hurt. Okay, so a lot of stuff coming at us now here. This bomber pounded artillery, but they brought this 1-strength Air Force back up to support them, which means we can send over this fighter here. Actually, let's send the one that doesn't have luck. Bring him right up in here and see if we can knock this unit out. Goodbye, Italian Air Force. Excellent. Which means now we can take our other fighter unit up here and start pounding their tactical ground support here. Good. 3 hits. Suffering some casualties, but that's okay. Excellent. So we put a dent in their aircraft as far as we know. And we've got more Italian forces pouring at us up here at El Tafud and coming through the desert. I'm going to now play ahead a couple of turns because it's going to take a long time if we showed everything. So I'll play ahead a couple turns and we'll check back in the situation after we see how the Italians move forward a little bit. So north of Musaid here on our second turn, we found one of these units that are the fragmented units. It's a 5-strength armored unit. So that's one of the ones that if we can wipe it out, I think before it can rejoin the rest of its forces, we get 250 prestige points. This tactical bomber going up to hit some of this artillery just uncovered it. So that's a possible kind of prestige point opportunity for us. We're about a quarter of the way through now, finishing turn 4 of 16. Let's take a look at the situation. We've got a lot of Italian units. We can see these gray units pouring through from the kind of to the northwest of our positions, and then a swarm that's come down here through El Tafud. We abandoned El Tafud pretty quickly. We only had 1 infantry unit there, so I pulled them back and they are now back here at the airbase outside of Musaid. I don't have much in the way of defending Musaid here. We've got some Italian infantry coming down here. We do have some Italian armor, this one in the red here. You can see them by the gray backgrounds as opposed to the green backgrounds. We've managed to isolate this one, and we've got it beat down pretty good. We have eliminated a couple of other Italian infantry units, other units coming through, trying to beat stuff up, and we've weakened their tactical bomber up here. Lastly, down here, one of these hidden units, I found another one in the desert here to the southwest, I think it is, of Fort Capuzzo, and I've been sending our tactical bomber at it, hammering it here, so we can see it's down to 2 strength points, and they start at 5. So that would be a valuable 250 prestige points if we can finish that unit off before it decides to. I think if they join back up with their main forces, they get rescued, and I think this one probably up here at the other one that we found is probably on the verge of getting rescued, but we'll see how that goes. So let's see what the Italians do here on their turn 5. Yeah, that one's running. It's not attacking. More forces coming down. Okay, they've started their assault on this outpost here up in the desert. Oof, infantry pouring down here. More infantry coming in. I've noticed that the enemy here, AI, is pretty good at encircling our forces. They will come right around and make you pay if they can. All right, so we push back their air unit. Our fighters have gotten beaten up trying to take that down, but that's okay. All right, so we're holding on here. Let's take a moment to think, and then we'll do some actions. I kind of got a rough plan for this turn here. One of the things I don't necessarily like to spend prestige points in the middle of a scenario because it's so expensive to do so, to upgrade unit, to not upgrade you, but to bring in reinforcements. However, I think in this scenario we will. And if you're not familiar with how it works, you have choices of 2 types. You can bring in general replacements. So I'm looking at this air unit now that's got a strength of 6. And then in this navigational menu on the left, we can bring in replacements or elite replacements. Now, the elite replacements cost a lot more. If elite replacements would cost us 54 prestige, regular replacements would only cost us 29, but you can see with the math on the bottom, it's right now this unit has 312 experience. If we bring in regular replacements, its experience drops to 187. If we bring in elite replacements, it keeps them, but it costs us twice as much prestige to do this in. Nevertheless, I want to bring in elite replacements here for this fighter so that we keep its experience level. In general, it's a bad idea, I think, in scenarios to do that. Likewise, up here, this infantry unit that is kind of bravely holding on to this outpost, it's been whittled down to 13. It's going to cost us 64 to add 2 strength points to it, but I do think I want to do that. Yeah, we're going to do that just because we have enough prestige points here, 1866, and I think anything we can buy to slow the Italians down, preventing them getting down here in the bottom half of our defensive situation is going to be worth it. So doing a few things like that. Now we've got kind of an interesting situation here where this armored, kind of the fragmented, the scattered unit here has approached our airfield. We've got some infantry in here defending it. It's supposed to be a 1-to-1 attack. I think I might actually do this because if we can wipe it out, it's going to be worth it. So maybe we'll get lucky and wipe it out here. We didn't do any damage to either unit. Okay, well that means let's bring our tactical bomber in here and see if we can finish it off, please. We didn't. Okay, it's still got a strength of 1. That's a bummer. I hate to waste our tactical bombers on this unit. To a certain degree, I think there's more priority targets. So that's not the best thing for us to have happened here. I do not want to move the unit out of Musaid to attack, which would be a win because it will lose its entrenchment. It's currently at 8 out of 10 entrenchment. We can see right over there at the bottom, 8 out of 10. So I don't want to do that green number there that's got the shovel beside it. So I don't want to move those out. So it might take us another turn, and maybe this guy could come over here, and I don't even think that's going to finish him off. Anyway, we'll figure something out. This unit, this Italian armor unit that's entrapped here, I definitely want to see if we can finish this off. It is rather durable, though. First up, let's pound. Oh, we've got artillery is coming. Wow, there's so many targets now. All right, let's try this. No damage. Okay, we're going to back up one because we got a lot of units in range now on the high ground. Good. Is that going to help? 0 against 2. I think that's our best target. I want to try where possible to eliminate things. Okay, good. It drove it back here. And we can follow and chase with this. Yeah, let's do that a little bit. Unit here 0 to 1. I think we might as well take that. The more damage we can put on here, good. Drove it away. It's on high ground now, but it's got to be pretty beat down, right? And we'll leave that unit for a second. We don't want that one to get wiped out. Wow, we got a lot of forces coming down here. This Matilda is so slow. I'm not sure. We might have gotten it trapped here. Let's move it down to the road and hit this infantry, which looks like it's going to create some, yeah, a little bit of damage there. And we lost some strength. Okay, the Matilda isn't a core unit, so I'm not too worried about it. Callous, me. But anyway, you get the idea. This one here, wow, this got beat down pretty badly. Let's give it some elite replacements. 90, okay, but it gets to full strength. And that's actually not a horrific position for that one. This one here, this is, I think, our long-range desert group. Let's pull them. Can't go anywhere. They could go up here and attack. 1 to 3 on that infantry. That's not too bad. Yeah, let's do that. And that'll get him over a little bit better shape to help defend everything down here. Oh, he suffered 2 casualties, too. That was more than we were hoping. Let's go this way. Hopefully they will survive. And then I think for this outpost defensive unit, what we're going to do is just have them hold and then try to escape through the desert to head down here towards Sollum to help with that defense. But we're not going to hold there too much longer because I think they're all alone. So I'm going to move a few more units here, tweak a few things. We still have our fighters to work on too. Maybe we can... Oh yeah, we got our fighters here. Let's see if this one can finish off this armored unit. Please... Yes, a kill for our fighter too. Excellent. I love it. Taking those units out and wiping them out when they're close to gone, I think, is a good strategy. So we didn't get this one, though, this other scattered fragmentary tank unit. Nevertheless, I'll finish up this turn. I'm going to play ahead a couple more turns, and we'll check back in on the situation. So we get notice that one of those Italian remnant units survived and was regrouped with their main forces, but this one is still cut off. See if our tactical bomber wiped it out, so we get 250 prestige. That was valuable because I've been spending through our prestige points kind of like water here. It's been using a lot of them to try to keep our forces up to full strength. Anyway, we'll continue on. So we've just finished our half of turn 8. The Italians have taken this outpost, driving this British infantry. We can see it up over my head here, out into the desert. They just kind of relentlessly are dogging them. I keep pouring expensive reinforcements in them. To bring reinforcements to these units, it's costing us over 200 prestige per turn, but it is distracting them a little bit. And I don't know, though. They're wandering off towards the ocean here. Maybe we can have a mini Dunkirk and rescue that unit. I mean, at some point they're going to have to resupply, I suppose. We're starting to whittle them down just by beating them up with so much defensive fire. I'd like to keep them alive and not lose them. They did attack our artillery here with this cavalry unit. I brought our Air Force and a long-range kind of recon unit over here to whittle down this cavalry that you can see under there. We took them down from 11 strength to 2 strength with some combination of air power and a recon unit, and then brought our artillery back up to full strength. The problem is that we're down to 750 prestige, and we're only halfway through, so we're kind of running out. We still are holding on to Musaid, but the line is somewhat tenuous here. There is some Italian infantry probably going to attack soon. We just wiped out an armored unit here, but we've got some cavalry and some more armor kind of pouring in, and then this pesky Italian, what is this? It looks like some kind of a recon armored car unit has snuck all the way through our lines and is right on the border of Fort Capuzzo. I mean, we're dug in well here, and we are bringing some forces to try to handle it, but it is a little bit problematic. They did bring a motorcycle unit down here that we're able to wipe out too, so they're kind of infiltrating our lines, pouring on through. We're halfway here. I don't think I'm going to try to hold Musaid till turn 12. I imagine we're going to lose that pretty soon. And they did capture our air base here, which forced us to reposition our Air Force over here by Sollum, which is making the range somewhat of an issue because we can't get at some of these units that are farther up in the desert. But I'm hopeful that by the time pretty soon they're going to be, I mean, there's things we can hit, and they are going to be getting within our aircraft range as they further advance here. So we will finish turn 8 here. Let's see what they do. Ooh, that was a unit in the desert there. What's that doing? Okay, so they attacked us. We've got them encircled. Okay, that's okay. Hitting us with artillery. They're still chasing us. Okay, that was better because they're attacking uphill. They are relentlessly trying to kill this unit. they're sending more troops ever. As much as it's admirable that they're trying to finish this unit off, I guess, it is... I mean, it's distracting them from driving down to Sollum here. Oh, where's this cavalry going? It's a little bit bothersome. And they have got our defenses encircled now in Musaid. And more armor coming. It's just endless stuff coming here. This cavalry unit is bothering me. I feel like they're going to come around, maybe, over this escarpment. You can't move through this heavy ridge line, but they could come this way. And there was something else in the desert here. I'm going to send, I think, a fighter over here to see what that was. That might be one of those valuable units that we could use to get prestige with. So that must have been one of those hidden ones. I'd like to pound these cavalry too. Although they are mobile, they are not very strong on defense. So I think we can hit them pretty easily here. Speaking of which, let's finish this unit off for sure. Excellent. Cut them down and saved our artillery. Good. Very, very good. Now, what to do up here? Ooh, we're in high ground. We could make them pay. This might be heroic last stand. Let's go here. Actually, let's undo that. Do we want to try to run? We could run. Now, let's keep fighting that withdrawal here. So let's move here, stay in the high ground, and try to hit this unit here. Excellent. They're down to 2 strength, which is good. And we're still dug in the hills. We're creating problems for them. That's good. We could even send probably one of our fighter units up here. Is there aircraft back? I want to see where it is. It keeps coming back and pestering us here. No, it's not. So could we get with one of our fighter units? Could we wipe that unit out? No. What about our bomber? Could we get it with our bomber? Probably not. But it's going to make them... yeah, anyway. One of the things, too, is we're thinking about how we can force them to spend prestige on units that they don't want to spend prestige on. We could potentially wipe that out. But now let's let them fight on bravely by themselves for the moment. Anyway, I will keep driving on here. See if I think we're going to abandon Musaid here. Ooh, we're kind of trapped there. That's not good. It's time to abandon it for sure, though. We'll solve this problem. Turn 10, Musaid has fallen. We are making them pay, though. We wiped out that advanced unit that was around Fort Capuzzo. We've knocked out a couple of armored units here. They still have a fairly... Actually, this is looking pretty good here if we look at Fort Capuzzo. They have an infantry unit, kind of this beat-up motorcycle unit, and then some armor here moving down on the city. But we've fairly well whittled away on their attack here. Our prestige now is up to 927, thanks to some units we've wiped out and destroyed. So maybe Capuzzo is looking okay. This infantry unit has held up in the desert here, although there's a lot of forces coming down here. I think this may have been the force that was slotted to take Sollum, but we have, by chasing this unit off into the desert, at least maybe we drew them tactically away from going south. Perhaps we've kind of ruined their plans there. They do have their tactical bomber back on us, so we want to try to get this here. But I think it might be time to load this unit up into the Bren carrier and get them moving through the highlands here, heading back down to Sollum, and let this unit just kind of come at us if they can. We should be able to whittle them away with our air force as they have to cut across this rather slow terrain. But that's something to be decided for soon here. For the meantime, though, let's get our fighters up here, see if we can hit this aircraft. I'm going to try to chop them down. Get air superiority. 4 hits. Excellent. Good. And let's get this other one up here. Same thing. 3 hits, maybe? Good. Nice. Whittling it down. Send it back. And I will continue on here. I might be tempted if we could... We lost track of that cavalry, though. I don't know where it went. It's in the desert here somewhere. That's could be show up in your back door kind of problematic type of thing. But we're going to kind of keep pounding away at these attackers coming at us from the northwest here. We do need to replenish some of our units, too. This armored unit is really beat up now. And I don't want to lose it because it's one of our core units. So, and this unit down here just got hammered. It's down to 3 strength points. On the last attack as well. So we got some replacements to get in here, and we'll start seeing if we can chop away at this. Let's actually just do that. Elite replacements, 203. Wow, that's such an expensive prestige cost for that. 112 for this one. Get it back to full strength. Yeah, we're going to do that, though. Interestingly enough, we've done enough damage on these units here. I don't know if there's more to the north of Musaid because it's in this fog of war, but I think we can retake it. There doesn't seem... Oh, there's some artillery up there. That's going to be somewhat nasty. But I want to wipe this infantry out. Let's do that. Excellent. We've retaken Musad. I don't think we get the points for it, but we have put a little... And we can take our airbase back, too. Thanks. That'll make them at least slow them down, make them maybe turn around and kind of have to come back up here to retake these positions before they can launch an assault on Fort Capuzzo, which is good for us. So all kinds of good things happening for a moment. Should we retake it? Yeah, let's just push forward here. I don't see much of a threat here in the desert, although we don't know where that cavalry went, but we might as well grab it while we can. Midway through turn 12, we've done a pretty good job down here around Fort Capuzzo. We've wiped out pretty much everything they've sent at us here. The only thing is this Italian cavalry unit, these horses sitting up on this ridgeline. They're too dug in for us to really attack effectively, but they're not really doing anything, so we're going to let them sit there for a minute, see if we can entice them to come out here. But we have retaken and held Musaid, both the airbase there and the town, and the threat on Fort Capuzzo is just all the only evidence of that are these scattered armored hulks of Italian tanks littering the desert right now. To the east here, though, the situation is a little bit more precarious. There are Italian forces en masse cutting through the desert here, heading straight for their second objective, which is Sollum. However, I think we can whittle them down with the aircraft we've got here. We've got our fighters, and we can kind of pepper away at them as they try to make way through the desert here. They don't really have much air support left, so I think we've got that. And we did find this other remnant here, so I think what I want to do is bring our bomber over here, see if we can start to pound that. I'd love to be able to get this one before it can be rescued. And that takes it down to 3. Oh, down to 2. Excellent. That was a good bombing run for us. Good. So I think what else we'll do, we're going to send these fighters up here and try to whittle away this armor as it comes at us from the northwest. I've brought most of the forces that were up here and brought some over here. So we've got some artillery coming into Sollum, and this recon unit, this armored cart, looks like coming into Sollum as well. And yeah, some artillery here. So hopefully, in this infantry that was heroically defending up at this outpost is going to make it back down here, and we'll have them dig into the city. So that's good. This anti-tank unit is there, so I think we have enough to hold, but I'd love to be able to kind of just pound them as they come at us here. Turn 15 out of 16, Fort Capuzzo looked like it's holding strong here. They have sent some more forces down to attack it, but we've been able to hold them off here, both at this Musaid line and Fort Capuzzo. So they regained this base here and the air base here and held it. I think the attack is fairly well petered out here along the western side of the map, if you would. We are on the verge now of wiping out this other... Yes, all Italian dispersed units have been destroyed. We got it. Our tactical bomber wiped out that other one. So we're back up to 1,500 prestige, which would be helpful if we were continuing on in the campaign, because you need a lot of prestige when you start the next scenarios up. So having said that, we do have a little bit of a situation here around Sollum, as the lead elements of an Italian attack have made their way down to the outskirts of the city. We have this, looks like another kind of armored unit that's making its way in here, and an Italian infantry unit. We did wipe out some tanks that were coming down here, but we do want to start hitting these units if we can, with as our artillery hitting them. Excellent. That wears them down a little bit. And we'll just, I think, otherwise we're going to let them kind of come at us here. The Italian Air Force is pretty much disappeared, so I'm not sure. I think perhaps they are running out of prestige as well. In the meantime, we are going to continue to chip away at these remaining Italian forces as they attack Sollum, I think is what we'll do. The last thing I'm thinking of, we have this armored car to the north of Musaid, which is largely quiet now. We've got this, again, dangerous cavalry off on the ridges here and some infantry here, but I don't think they're a threat. I would like to see, I wonder if the Italians have garrisoned the outpost in El Tafud. So I'm going to send, looks like they have. Those are dead, but these are infantry there. But I wonder if they've garrisoned El Tafud. Could we potentially slide up here and retake that? Looks like it's empty, as does the outpost. So something to think of next turn. Maybe we can regain those original positions if they've left them undefended. So anyway, we'll end this turn here and see what the Italians do on their last turn here. They're trying to make their way to Sollum, and they're attacking our forces here. That was a good attack for them. Infantry coming through the ridges. This cavalry is trying to retake the airbase. They'll probably get it, I guess. No, we held. Excellent. turn 16 out of 16, I think we can go here and take that, and then come down here and take the outpost back. Haha, take that, pesky Italians. That gives us another 100 prestige, which is good. So we've regained all our objectives here. I think the Italian offensive here has, by and large, really stalled out. We've beaten back the advance. Turned 16 out of 16, and it is over. Their cavalry bravely came out of the escarpment here and attacked our airfield. We were able to hold them back and then bring all the troops that we had to bear and wipe out that cavalry. We did, of course, take Tafud in the outpost, putting kind of a heavy hit on this Italian offensive. Now, I think the campaign story will be that there are more forces coming. We decide to pull back. But this one should be a win for us here. Let's end our turn. Despite our best efforts, Sollum has fallen to the Italians. So yeah, in the bigger scope and scale of this, the next scenario is going to see us fall back. But this should be, I'm going to end the briefing here, and I'll be right back. Yeah, if we end that briefing, it should give us a victory for that. Yes, excellent. So I think overall that seemed to work pretty well for defending Sollum here on this one. And to be fair, the first scenarios are often fairly straightforward. But that was, I think, the best I've fought as defensively in a game here. So that's an improvement for me. I feel like I'm leveling up a little bit. And this would take us right into the next scenario, still a defensive scenario for the British, same day, 13th of September, holding Halfaya, if we were to continue on with the campaign. But there's a look at Panzer Corps 2, the Cyrenaica DLC. Let me know what you think. Comments are welcome down below. Also, I know there is a new DLC, a Ghost Division DLC, that's going to focus on a campaign on one specific German division. I think the 7th Panzer Division, maybe? And that will be an entire campaign devoted to that unit, which sounds like an interesting new direction for DLC. I think that's coming out towards the end of this month. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.